Okay, good evening, everybody. We are live right now, and I consider it a great privilege to host one of the most remarkable men of God in the city of Port Harcourt. I don't know. I think this is my first time to hold to host a man of God on my timeline. So I think this is a great privilege. I've not hosted a man of God before on my timeline, so I have to package myself today. Package myself.
Oh my word.
Everything that is package yourself today. All right, welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. It's good
Thank
to
you.
have you. It's good to
Same
have you
here.
on my timeline today. So, guys, today I have on this conversation Pastor Wisdom Osiri. He is the lead pastor at the Wisdom Place. And today we are going to be having just a conversation concerning men. I know all over the world we're having conversations, women, all over the place. And people keep complaining, okay, um, there are conferences for women. And we keep saying, okay, these women, they ought to have to marry men. And then if the men are not put into certain conversations that make them to be actually to be men, and then that is disaster that is looming. And so Pastor Wisdom Osiri, through the Man Thing Summit that he has been hosting, has been helping to bring men into these conversations. All right. Namdi says, Semeka, you are pretending shows the real you.
It's,
Namdi,
Nnamdi,
please,
it's too early.
please leave me alone, please, please. I have to package myself. I'm speaking to you. I'm hosting a man of God. Don't bring, don't be the devil in this show, please. Stay away. Okay, sir. So it's great to be here to have you on this conversation. So, sir, I would like to know because everybody, somehow it feels like talking about the women is kind of profitable. I don't know, monetarily or otherwise, and people are not talking about the men, and they keep telling men to be men. And what does it even mean to be a man? Most times, it's about emasculation of your emotions. And so a man should not cry, a man should not show emotions, a man should not show pain and all that. And then we put all these things together in our bodies and we just at some point we implode. There's some
True.
implosion at some point. Either you implode to your wife or you implode to your staff, or you just maybe on the road, sir, and you never can tell if you slap a soldier one day. You just implode, all right? And so I would like to know the Man Thing Summit, the idea behind it, why you have chosen to focus on the man. What is it about men that is so important now that we need to be having these conversations? Because it's not a mainstream thing. It has always been about the women, and leaving men to figure out things for themselves. So we want to know that what has made you, to go on this voyage or on this mission to helping the men to actually be men in the right way.
Well, thank you so much, Emeka. You know that I'm super, super proud of you. I spoke to you earlier today to express partly how, proud I am of you. And uh, also more excited the man you are becoming. You have created an amazing niche for yourself. Of course, now you are creating a team around it, and you are doing amazing work. Thank you so much for making us proud to say, yes, this is a
Okay.
man we can be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you.
Whilst none of us is perfect, but you have done an amazing job. So we are grateful to you and your team for giving us that reason to celebrate. Okay, so the man thing. Emeka is a big question. So, it's a big question. 2 years ago when you did a video, you talked about something very important that they say men should not cry, right?
Yes,
We
sir.
should mask our emotions and all that. But every day I begin to see that life expectancy for men is getting lower and lower. That's why you have more widows than widowers.
Mm.
You have young girls, age 28, 32, 30. The husbands are late. You have a lot of children that don't have fathers around them. And so that began something that sparked up something in my heart. So, you see the debt, life expense for the man. Number two, you see, crime. Let's start from prison, all right? I went somewhere in a prison in the city of Port Harcourt with my team to visit some people and to kind of show charity to them. And they showed us a small hall, maybe a little bit as big as your office. As a big man you are, as big as your as big as your office. They had about 176 men trapped there. They are not wearing clothes. They are just, they're just wearing boxers, no singlet. They're scratching their body because they have to urinate. As I watched them, we came with water, we came with stuff to give to them. I couldn't even stand. I used to pride myself, I'm a strong man, but I couldn't stand the pain just watching them. I had to now leave and then go back. And then somebody said, I said, where is the women part? They showed me the women part. They were about 3.5. I'm sorry to say 3.5 human beings, because you had a mother, you have 2 daughters, and 1 small girl, or a small girl, just a baby. That's what I call 3.5. And so compare that, do the ratio of 4 to 176. You see how wide it is. It shows you how wide, so you could see in some places, you see the ratio between a man and a woman in prison, incarcerated, is almost like 17 ratio to 1, some 30 something to 1, like what I'm trying to explain right now. Some 40 something to 1. So before you can see a 1 woman, you see 40 men. Talk about drugs, okay? Drug addicts, they tell you it's 1:6. Before you can see 1 woman doing drugs, there are 6 other men doing drugs. And that continues in all other vices, or like crimes, going up. So you realize that men are almost going into extinction. Then you begin to see that you come to our society, you see some places that seems to have laws that are more or less supporting the woman a little bit more than the man. And so you begin to see things like where you have hospitals for the mother and child. I'm sure you have seen that hospital before.
Yes,
it's a mother and child hospital. And you are wondering, how about the father that was part of this arrangement? It's like the man should take care of himself. I used to go to, do programs in different parts of Nigeria, and there is a particular one I went to in Abuja for men, for young boys. It's, hosted by amazing Ebuka, the king of the boys. So we packed up the indoor hall stadium of Abuja, and we have close to 7,000 boys in that hall. And one of the questions the boys were asking us is, sir, see, this is a lot of our boys. Our mothers take care of our daughters, our sisters. Our fathers do the same. They just leave us to our own. So I realized that the man is left to fend for himself. And if the man was left to fend for himself, to take care of himself, that would be okay. The man is also left to himself to struggle for himself, handle his emotion by himself, handle his struggle by himself, handle the trials and temptation by himself, and is also called upon to take care of every other person. So you see the man, the wife is sick, the man goes, does x-ray, the man goes, does scan, do this one, the same thing for children. The man is having a headache, say, I'll be fine. Highest, he will go and buy paracetamol. He's not taking care of himself, all right? And so I realize that if we do not take care of the man who takes care of every other thing, then we're going to have a challenge. And that's why we began to talk about the man thing. How do you help the man that will help other people? How do you encourage the man to take care of himself in 7 core areas? The man and his faith, which means every man needs to have someone he believes that is more than him to say, I need help. Fatherhood cannot be done without assistance and help. Number 2, the man and his fitness. The man has to be healthy. All right, that's the 7 core areas the man thing focuses on. The man and his fitness. Then you talk about the man and his finances. The man and his family. The man and his future legacy. The man and his fervency. And the man and his friendship. I mean, I know that you have been doing very well. Nnamdi have been doing very well. But the moment both of you connected like this, people just went exponential. And that is the power of good friendship. So we want to create a community. The mountain, therefore, is a community where all these 7 things I've mentioned can be reached for a man. Because the way God created us, we were not created to dwell all by ourselves. We do our best when we live in a community. So the mountain is the community that helps men to talk about themselves, to help men to answer men's questions. And that's why I always encourage every man that want to be a part. Say, see, this thing we want you to ask if you have done business all the year. This time, come and volunteer and just help and that brother. All right, because we see women that people. Let me not call names. You put know the names. The names of people, women. You see people who say, I want to help women. They help 2,000 women. They put them through school. They pay their stuff. You help someone say, I'm into makeup. You go and do training for 3,000 women makeup. All of those things they're doing, it goes to women and not against them. But I'm trying to say, you also need to pay attention to them, because it's like this before. It was like the men were up here. They call it the man's word. I'm sure if they say calling the man's word today, they are just deceiving you. It's not any man's word. I think it was the man's word at the time. I believe that. But I think that a lot of talk, a lot of resistance and narrative made it that we now shifted the pendulum to this side. Let's support the women. But now it's like the pendulum has swung to this other side. And then now you're having to deal with a lot of men. They can't take care of their family. A lot of men, their wives are, I'm sure you know what you made a very profound statement. You say even in business sense, it sounds that it's better to deal with women. I can tell you, some people have come and say, leave these men alone, do ministry to women. It is women that will support you. These men, they are not going to support you anything. You just, and they're very correct. You didn't know that, surprisingly, I see women providing more support for the mountain than men, actually.
Wow.
And they're not wrong. So whether it is business, it sounds better to work with women. Even in church, I have more men in church than women, and I realize that the women, they might be fewer, all right, but now we are narrowing up like 50% now. Before it was like 55, 45, 40 for women, all right, more of men. I think it's because the way I teach, I'm more transformation, I'm not that too emotional, something that, I want change. I want to see the authenticity of Christianity. I want you to live this life in a correct way. So I think I attract a lot of men, but I'm learning also in that aspect, we have to get the men to do it. So whether it's in the business part, it might look like a bad market, but if we don't help the men, we're going to have a challenge. Let me give you one more statement and then one story, and then I'll allow you to ask the next question. So we had this, I read this thing on a survey. The survey was done by a group called Save the Man Initiative. All right, they did a research to find out the impact of family members on each other. And when they had that discussion, part of what happened that they discovered that they use salvation, because they're a Christian organization, they use salvation as the basis for their discussion. Look at what they discovered. They said if a young man, a young girl, teenager, gives his life to Christ first, 3.5% of the time, the entire family respond to God. If it is a woman that gave her life to Christ first, 17% of the time, the whole family respond to God. But if it is a man that gave his life to Christ first, 93% of the time, the whole family respond. That means that is destiny. Where the man goes, so the whole family goes. And that's why, from Exodus, we see that when Pharaoh was going to kill people, he killed only boys. He left the girls alone. When Herod was going to... that was Old Testament. When Herod was going to kill with 2 years below, only boys he killed. He left the women alone. So you see, now, it may not be Pharaoh, it may not be Herod killing men or boys. Challenges are killing. Policies are killing men and women. Different men and boys. Different things are also still killing men. We are not against women. We don't want women to die. We want them alive. They make this place sweeter for all of us. But we are saying we want the men to also live. We want the man to find help. We want a man that is facing temptation to say, and that brother, my brother, how do they overcome this kind of temptation where they everywhere? How they do it? And somebody can tell them. We want a man that can ask another man, please, my wife is earning more than me. How do you manage? I see not to feel like a man anymore. What should I do differently? We want a man to say, I lost my job. I want to take care of my family, but I'm not able to do it. We want men that will be able to help other men. So that's what the mountain is about. And that's why we say resolution and help for men.
Thank you so much, sir. Because I know that anything that starts small and with focus and dedication and passion, it actually grows. And one of the things I think that the Man Thing Summit can do is to take a look at certain challenges and circumstances, especially in the culture, that we have all around us, and look at those things that are actually killing us. A friend of mine today will be burying his father tomorrow, and I know the pain that this guy has been going through ever since his father died. I mean, the guy died through
Wow.
cancer. It got to the point that the doctors just said, "Guy, you know what? Just take your father home and let him just go and die there." And the day he sent me the picture, I didn't want to tell him. I just looked at the picture, even though I'm not a doctor, but I looked at the picture, looked at the way the man was, and I just knew that maybe the man wouldn't really survive. And eventually the man died. And this guy has been under constant pressure to live up to the expectations of the family members regarding the burial. He hasn't decided to borrow, and thankfully for that. And many of us have been helping, talking about his works, contributing money to see that he does everything. One of the things that I really hate in our culture is the issue of burials. I mean, somebody dies. I've been having
Emeka, you want to
I've,
really go there?
I've been having no, so I know where I'm driving. I'm not going to have the discussion about burials though. But
Okay, go
I'm having
ahead.
a conversation with my dad. My dad is still alive, and I've been having this conversation with him. I'm telling him, I'm not saying you're dying now. I'm saying that we need to change these things that kill us. Like I'm the opinion that, man, if somebody dies, why don't the family just go together, have some brief, mourning moments, bury the person, and everybody go. Why must the death of someone put on burden on some? Like takes years for individuals to even repay what they have borrowed because of burials. So part of what I think the Man Thing Summit is taking a holistic look at some of these things that affect the men and how we think that we can come together as men to begin to fight some of these cultures. In the line of that, I don't know. Do you think, as a result of these conversations we are having about men, that things are actually changing? I don't know if you have stories or testimonies that have come as a result of when Man Things Summit started. I know it's difficult sometimes to work with men because we are too rational, sometimes we can be heady, and all that. But are these conversations against the things that are killing us as men, especially customs and culture and traditions? Are they happening as a result of the Man Thing Summit? And if there are examples that you can give, sir, please go ahead. And if they're not happening, do you think that these conversations should start happening so that men can start to put away these customary traditions and the things that are killing us even in our time now?
So today I had two calls from two different men, one in Lagos, one from Enugu. I was almost in tears. So one of them told me something. The section that I had with Nnamdi yesterday, he said he read the topic. He said, "Sir, I joined that section." And one of them joined, one did not join. He said, "Sir, just the fact that," he said, I don't know how, he said, "Sir, Dr. Wisdom, I cannot tell you how I feel that someone will even take it upon himself to talk about issues that affect men." And for me, it was enlivening. It was encouraging. The other person called and told me what is going on in their city. He said, "Sir, one man came to the mountain. He went home and he literally, called the whole family, did a family meeting, and then called the wife and the children. He said, 'You know what? This is the first time somebody has taught me what it means to be a man, a father, and a husband in the correct way. I've been using people as experiment. I'm so sorry. I want to apologize that this has happened this way. I'm going to have this changed.'" I've seen men that struggle with being able to handle certain family issues that wrote in, and they talked about that the community that we have has provided great support for their. In fact, wives are the one giving me more testimonies. Funny enough, women are the one. So I've seen women. There's one particular day I came, I saw like two women. They parked their cars in front of our office and say, "I just want my husband to meet you, to be your friend." This so person said her husband met you and his life changed this way. Well, when I left that place with mixed feeling. One, I left with joy that the mountain is changing people's life. The other part, I left with a burden. you know, a weight. You know the kind of weight that, I'm sure you understand what I'm. That's the weight that, oh, I have to make sure I am, you know, dotting every I and crossing every T. I have to live right, because there are men whose life, you know, the way they're living at the, and I'm a human being, so I also want to behave like sometimes you do what other people do. But now there's a lot of weight. In the Bible, it's called the weight of glory. A lot of weight that is on me to say you have to do this right. That weight alone is something massive. That weight alone. And so I've come to realize that the testimonies, they are more organic, coming from homes. Number two, we have seen testimonies of men now partnering with other men for change. In our Lagos Mountain Summit, when we finished, the man that owns one of the topmost, let me not call him, the topmost photo studio in Nigeria, is a popular one. He was there with me. And then another man that owns a very popular real estate company was there. So something happened. When we were done talking, they were just in the man said, oh, you're into real estate. Do you know what? My son, that's the person that has the photo studio. He said, my son wants to do real estate. Can I send my son to you? And man said, with all pleasure, I would like to mentor your son. And as I said, but you know my son is the one that takes our media section in church. He actually wants to take photography as a profession. Guess what happened? The two boys were not there. Their fathers were in the program. They have created a link and a relationship with their sons and opened doors for their sons. And I was so excited that, you know, these two people now, they have connected. So the testimonies are men are now finding place to, you know, to onboarding, to unwind. Men are finding a place to find, you know, succor. In, you know why they say men don't cry? Because they want us to internalize all of that, okay? And if one day I did a series, Real Men Also Cry. Real Men Also Cry. I discovered, Emeka, that there are about 16. There might be more, but that's what I discovered. 16 benefits of crying. That's I'm sure that would be a good book, Emeka, for you to write. 16 benefits.
That will lead me to my next question, so go ahead.
You know, so it's very important that you see. So now, as you begin to see that, you see that for me was so powerful. I went to preach in one church like that, and then they introduced me. And then the man, look at the way he introduced me. He finished talking about church, and I said, my wife, this is the man that taught me. You didn't know where the change came from. This is the man I went to his summit. And he talks about how he pays attention to himself and pays attention to his wife and his children. When I came back and you saw me bathing our children, this is the man that taught me. When I came back and you saw me driving my children to school, this is the man that taught me that. When I came back and, you know, I was, you know how you have goose people, how the testimonies are now what is like the introduction. So the wife was so amazed. The wife later came to say thank you. He said it was like I had a brand new husband. I know so some things you do, you may not even know the impact is having on people. But now I'm even excited that I'm getting those feedbacks. So that's just a few of the many other testimonies that, you know, we are getting both from the men and from the women.
Thank you so much, sir. I have more questions, and then we'll talk about the summit, and that will be all for tonight. Regarding the display of emotions, you know, it's easy. It's a common sight when you see women who are under pressure. They can break down on the road, break down in the office, break down inside a car, and then they can start pouring and start crying. But it's not usual for men. You know, for me, I cry, but I have a way of locking. Or locking my, I mean, I don't know how my children will look at it. That is crying, but their mom can cry. You know what I mean? The mom can be crying. I'm like, okay, mommy, you know, that kind of thing. But your dad crying, I mean, they're like, maybe the heavens are falling if they see your dad. It's not a common thing. And even when you see men crying on the road, you see other men like, you know, be man at all. What is the worry? Why they cry? You know, those kind of things. So the place of unburdening is a little bit difficult sometimes for men, especially in a place whereby, like in the Mountain Summit now, you're telling everybody, okay, lower your guards, just be yourself. This is a safe place to be. They still find it difficult to just open up and want to part and all that. You know, instead, you find us in smaller clusters. Like, for example, now, I'm Nnamdi Ibe, 5 of us now, we're in a WhatsApp group. We can come in there. You know, when we want to hang out together, we can cry, we can say all the things in our heart. So regarding the essence of unburdening, you know, for men, like for example, you've said the 16 benefits of crying. Do you think is a culture that should be imbibed? Because this has been right from time. When a man is crying, they look like he's emasculated. I mean, he's a woman rapper, and all that kind of thing. But crying sometimes is therapeutic. I don't know, that safe space of men being able to unburden. Is the Man Thing Summit truly achieving that objective?
Yes, I'm sure you have been to the mountain twice. Last year we didn't have a very great outing in Port Harcourt because we have gone to different places. By the time we came, we were so tired. Everybody was just tired and fed up. You know, but we're going to have an amazing section this time around. And part of what we discover is that the breakout session that we used to have, usually we put it like 30 minutes or 45 minutes. You know how long it used to take to even break the men to come back. It's always a very challenging time because some of them have not had a place where only men are talking to another man, only a man talking to other men. All right. Then we are discovering that section is very powerful. So one of the things we have decided to also introduce is to build clusters of community from those groups. Building clusters of community from those groups. Introducing it from this year on, because we want men to leave that place. The experience should not just be on that day. We all gather. No. The experience should continue. And that's why if you're also listening to me and you're on Facebook and you're a man, whether you're watching live or later, you could follow the Man Thing community. So we have created the Man Thing community where it's only men. We don't want women there. Please, in fact, if you send a request, you need to be approved. We have to check whether you're a man before we approve you.
No transgenders allowed. No transgenders allowed.
No. If you are transgender, look for that community, not this one. This one is really... I don't have solution for transgender yet. So let me say the original, the way they came from factory fitted men. I want factory fitted men. So we are creating communities to be able to have that. So we are creating an online community called the Man Thing Community online on Facebook. So you can follow us there. We're going to start the conversation immediately after the conference. We're going to be we discovered that some of the questions we can't really answer them fully during the summit. So we want to start putting those questions there, and every man can answer, throw something at it. Just share what you think. Onboarding here. Only men are hearing you. Just let's see how can help our brother. So we want to do it physically and take it online. So the people that are coming this year and the people that have come previously, we're going to try to create clusters of communities for them so that they will be able to keep functioning after the meeting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, forms that give people to fill, and then we gather, maybe assume that people pick one. We gather that one to form a cluster one. We intend to do two steps. That one, and then the one that did breakout based on the breakout you are, create a cluster and then just keep having your conversation. And then we have this other one so that men can continue the conversation. You see, some women, they belong to 22 WhatsApp groups and they are all very functional. They talk there. A man belongs to 3. He does not say anything in there. And that's not a very good thing for us.
I don't know how they cope. You are very right. And they are functional in all of them.
They are functional. Me and you open our WhatsApp. My son opened my own one day. He saw 32,000 on red mail. He said, Daddy, how do you like that? And he goes to the mother's own. He sees 2. All right, so that's what we're doing, and we are getting that already, and we are strengthening it more by intentionally creating those communities that can take it more after the summit.
Thank you, sir. So the summit for this November in the city of Port Harcourt, tell us about it, sir.
The summit is going to be holding on the 26th of November. By 3 p.m. is the red carpet, and then we're going to have 4 p.m. we are starting. This year we have amazing people, including the one and only Don, Emeka Nobis himself, will be there to share the wealth of knowledge he has gotten in different areas of his life. We're also going to have the likes of Save a Life doctor, that is Dr. Richard Okoye. because we want the men to have their health examined. We want to speak to the men about their health. Okay, and we're taking intentional. We're very intentional about that for the men. Also, we're going to have other people, different men coming, to handle different sector of a man's life. The 7 core areas I've mentioned, and the other adjoining things. So, but the beautiful thing is that this year we are doing a twist to it. There's a twist to this year's own. So the summit is only for men. Yes, we don't want women there. We don't allow women there. But this year,
why is it that women are always insisting to come? Like even on this live stream now, still women are now insisting that they must enter the group. Why?
What? And we don't go to their own.
I don't know, sir. I don't know, sir.
So we have amazing people. So the twist this year is we're going to have 3 women. We're going to, when they come, we quarantine them somewhere. At the right time, we bring them in. Okay. We want to have the women. You see, it's all part of being more helpful or more authentic. Yeah. We want to hear the women version of how we are doing. Okay, are there some things that we're doing right? They want to encourage us. Are there some things that they think that give us the women perspective about the man thing? All right, so that we can serve them better, we can lead them better, we can love them better, and we can also get the benefit, of relating with them, because manhood sometimes, fatherhood sometimes look as though it's a thankless job. The man struggles so fast, pay the bills, everything. People don't thank him.
I tell you, it is.
Yeah, it seems so thankless. If they even muster to say, they say it's your responsibility. You're a man.
How do you know that? Oh, like 3 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, so I had spent money that day. I had spent close to 100,000 naira. Like, man, 100,000 in just one day from this, buy gas, buy this, buy that. I'm like, man, if I'm not working so hard, how am I going to make this money? I mean, how many people are spending 100,000 naira a day? I was just in my head, only for me to get back home at around 9:30. And my wife was like, that my son has been scratching his penis. And I'm like, yes, I'm a man. He can be scratching his penis. Let him be. And all. I said, no, that this boy has been scratching his penis for more than a month now. There must be something wrong. I should take, I say, now that I just go back, can I just tomorrow? He said, no, if he starts now, it's your responsibility. I'm like, gosh. My head was, I wanted to explode, but I just held myself and I took him out. And I went to the health guy, and they took a look at him and said, okay, nothing is actually wrong with him. Maybe some things, maybe, and then they gave him about 5,000 naira, cream and all that raw. But it wasn't the fact that I wanted. It was the fact that I came back, and there was, okay, welcome. How was work? How was the job? Relax and all. The next thing was, this boy has been scratching. Take it.
So there's not even a hug. You give you a peck, give you food, massage your leg, nothing like that.
No, nothing, sir. Nothing, sir.
And it's not you reporting your wife. It's the case of many men. It's not about you alone. It's the case of many men.
It's general.
If I saw one man one time. He was in a workshop, car workshop, mechanic workshop. So the man was frowning. The next day, I saw him. I said, why are you frowning, sir? He said, yesterday, I left here so time. I did it. I come home. The moment I sat down, my wife brought food. Before I can even touch the food, she tell me about this one, tell me about this one, tell me about this one, tell me about this one. The man said, I asked him,
everybody food billings everywhere.
I said, did you eat the food? He said, I did not eat any food. I got so angry, I did not want to eat again. I said, eat the food, take the food. I heard about a man that came to the house. The wife did all this one, children, everybody. The man just drove out and went out on the music in his car, locked the whole car, and started screaming on the inside of the car. Just to steam out. All right, so you are very correct. It can be a very thankless job. It can be a long walk to freedom, really. All right, so that's why I'm bringing a lot of people, like I mentioned myself, Dr. Richard Chris O'Hari, Araka, the owner of Prime Wash, Save a Life Hospital, Dr. Richard Okoye, we have Keo Baba to talk about other things. We have people talk about business, and Namdi, Festus, Uche, real estate, emotional intelligence, all kinds of stuff for men. So we look forward to having every man, to be there. I want to say thank you, Emeka, for having this. Thank you so much for all of you who are engaging currently right now or will engage later. I encourage you, if you're a man, don't forget what I said. If you're on Facebook, join the Man Thing community. Just type the Man Thing community. If you're a man only, then we can admit you. If you're on Instagram, you can also follow the Man Thing Official, the same Man Thing Official on Twitter. And then my personal page is Osiri Wisdom on Facebook. And I am Osiri Wisdom on Instagram. As you continue to drive this, we're looking forward to an amazing section this year, Mountain Summit.
All right, guys. So you have heard it from Pastor Wisdom Osiri, who is the founder, the originator of the idea. The Mountain Summit is going to hold on the 26th of November here in the city of Port Harcourt, 3 p.m. At what's the venue again, so that everybody will.
The Great Place Event Center, 3 p.m. Road, GRO, yeah.
All right, guys. So the Grace Place Event Center on the 26th of November. Every man, the women who are here, and I'm thinking that women are even they are placing a lot of comments in the comment section more than the men. Karen Waka is saying, but when it is the woman now, she'll take care of 40 children, and nobody says thank you. And that's why I have to come to the conference. Karen, why must you give us that upper cut now?
Karen, allow us to just slide a little bit.
I want that. All right, so guys, if you are a woman here, please advise your man or advise your brother, advise whoever is a man is around you that you love to be at the Man Thing Summit. It's about men. It's about how we can come together, have conversations that will benefit us. So, to tell you the absolute truth, Nnamdi and I and our friends, 5 of us, as we said, we have taken it as a responsibility to take care of ourselves. I mean, 5 of us can go and hang out. We are even currently planning to go somewhere where we are looking for. There's a 4-bedroom apartment there, but we're looking for 5 bedrooms. So each of us, we have 1 room each, just by ourselves. I know the women would not like it, but just by ourselves, just to be by ourselves, have the conversation amongst men, unhindered,
But do you know, Emeka, any wise married woman should support that. Because the moment you are happier and healthier, the woman will win more. But what some of them do, they choke life out of the man. The man can't function. When they want to go on their own vacation, the man allows them to go. If the man wants to go, they say, you want to go alone. You are choking life out of this man.
Tell them. There's somebody
I'm sure they are hearing that thing. Because this thing I'm telling you, me and my wife had a conversation today. So my wife, I'm supposed to travel on Monday. No, I'm not supposed to travel first. My wife's supposed to travel on Thursday, then come back in a week's time. Then I said, okay, I'm traveling to the same Lagos on Monday. She now said, no, let them change her own flight to Monday too. So she'll stay with me first, then go and stay her own. I said, can't you allow me to stay on my own? You stay my own. We'll come back happier. He said, no, I have to be there. So I think it's what we need to do. And funny enough, I go all around the place, all around the world, all around the place. Nnamdi will tell you, yes, 2 days ago, Nnamdi and I went out to just hang out somewhere and we just ate and discuss. We saw young girls, 3 of them, 4 of them, they gathered together, they're eating. No man, there, 3 of them, you go. One day I went to a co-hotel and I stayed at that place. For the 3 days I stayed in the hotel, the first year I saw young girls, like 7 of them, just sat down at the table and eating. The next day I saw married women. I said, where are the men? So after a while, a wise man told me something. He said, Dr. Wisdom, women are the one really enjoying this world. We are just providing logistics.
Logistics, oh my God.
We are just logistic managers, providing logistics. That's what we are doing. I told the man, don't allow the women to hear you. And I hope women did not hear me on this thing I just say right now. So that's what is going on. But we have to be the men. But the truth is that every man really wants to support the wife. I take joy when I watch my wife and children eating. I'm happy about that. That's what every real man does. Okay, we're only saying why we do that for you once in a while. Allow Emeka, Nnamdi, and the other three. Let them go and chill out. When they come back, they are not planning to divorce. They are not planning to kill their wives. They are not planning to use their wife as rituals. They are planning to see how do we make our lives better. Because hurting people hurt other people. But healed people, they help other people get healed. And that's what men need to do once in a while.
Yeah, so thank you very much. The other day we went out, like, okay, we have, four of us, yes. Richard was not around. Richard was in the village. Four of us went. I mean, I'd never been to that place before. We went to, now it says we should not mention the name of the place. People got me crowding there. We went there. Maple took us to the place, and it was beautiful. I mean, the 1 hour we spent there, we spent listening to music, looking around, nice place. There was swimming pool by the side, and it was amazing. And we have told ourselves just take ourselves out once in a month. 5 of us just go together. Nothing else, no business discussion, just chill out. And you find out that we didn't even spend so much, per head, like 10K could do for one person, right?
Yeah.
Then 5 of us can spend 10K or even at most 15K for yourself. And then you just relax generally, refresh yourself, your mind and all that, and come back. I think the men can begin to think in that direction, that solitude and just, so thank you so much, sir, for organizing the Man Thing Summit. Once again, guys, it's going to happen in the city of Port Harcourt at the Grace Place Event Center on the 26th of November, as from 3 p.m. It's a Sunday. You must have gone to church. I know those who are serving in church, maybe by 12 or 1 or 2 p.m., you must have done all your services in church, attended all the meetings, and then rested late. And then 3 p.m., the red carpet will start. And all these amazing personalities, teachings will be on health, on finance. I'll be teaching things that have to do with social media and how people can create finances on social media. Nnamdi will be doing, his teachings and all that. And we will have a conclave where men can open up and share what's in their hearts and what is happening in their lives, and receive hugs and receive divulgences from other men that can help them to stay alive and to do their biddings. So please, we are inviting every man to be there. Do not miss the Man Thing Summit. This is for men, strictly for men. No transgender is allowed. Only men who come with factory-fitted apparatus need to be there. All right. So please tell your women who are here, tell your men, tell your husbands, tell your brothers, tell your relations who are men to be there in the city of Port Harcourt, 26th of November, 2023, 3 p.m. at the Grace Place. It's number 2B Evo Road, very popular place. 3B Evo Road, sorry, very popular place, very close to water lines, very popular place. If you just take a cab from anywhere, either from water lines or from Ajib Junction, just tell them to drop you there at 3B Evo Road, the Grace Place Event Center. Very Eden Lounge. It's also very close to Eden Lounge. Eden Lounge has a big billboard there. You can see it. It's where they eat, Eden Lounge. So you just stop there and enter strictly for men. Thank you very much, Pastor Wisdom. It's been a great pleasure. You are the first man of God, the first servant leader of a church that I am hosting on my timeline. I hopefully other men of God will be gracing the screen. So they say Emeka, you're always using brain to think about things of God. I don't know what I've done to them, or they always say I'm logical, and I'm wondering how can I not reason the things of God? That's why they say I'm not born again. I don't know.
But you know that
I'm atheist. All that I don't know.
Oh my word! We know one when we see one. That's all I can say. Jesus says something very powerful. By their fruits you shall know them. So don't. In fact, today, before I let you go, today I was talking to somebody that both of us were in Bible school together.
Yes.
18 years ago, 2000 or 19 years ago, 2004. Right? Yeah, 19 years ago. I asked him, he's in Lagos, he's pastoring a church in Lagos, I'm here in Port Harcourt. I asked him, where are the other people? There were other people that made us look as though we're not even born again ourselves. They were people. We can't even find, we can't trace them right now. Where are they? Wow. So you realize that this thing is about fruits. It's about depth. Bible talks about you take root downwards and you bear fruit upwards. You have to. You don't have to make so much noise. Just allow your fruits, to speak for you. So that's what I mean by that's what is important.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We are still looking forward. I don't know. My son has been asking me about the father and son. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
Yes. My son has been asking, Daddy, when will we do it? He has not forgotten the swimming part. He wants to go and swim again. That day I was holding him back from, but
going deeper.
Going deeper, yeah.
So I'm sure that we are going to have an amazing time for the father and son adventure.
About the father and son. I hope.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yes, go ahead.
Hopefully, we plan to have it on the 16th of December, which is on a Saturday. 16th December on a Saturday. So that's what we are planning to do. The other part is because some people are saying move it to Sunday, but I'm not still keen on Sunday because their idea is that children will just be coming back from holiday, from school that day, 16th, or a day before. But that's what we have in mind. But we don't want to move it closer to the time people are not going for Christmas, like 23rd and all that. I'm sure that's already a very noisy, busy season. So, but we want to do it this year.
Thank you very much, sir. He has always been asking me, Daddy, when do we have because he enjoyed himself, he loved it.
My son, I came with two of my sons. The younger one, he asked me, he's the one that made us follow the assignment. He said, Daddy, we have not done this assignment. We have not done this. They say we should do for this month. He said, this month is the month we are supposed to read a book together. This month we're supposed to plant a tree. Daddy, are you planting mango, orange?
The same thing with my son. The same thing with my son. Daddy, where's that assignment? He went and brought that from the back. This is the tree planting part was what he really loved.
Oh my God!
Experience, and he has helped me to bond with him, and he's growing into a remarkable. He's in just one now. After that time, he was primary 5, so he's in just one now, and he's doing amazing. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. My regards to your wife and to the family and to all the amazing things you are doing. We look forward to seeing on the 26th of November for the Mountain Summit. Good night, everybody, and God bless you all for tuning into this session. See you at the Mountain Summit.
Thank you.